What is going on? Hey, this video is just going to be a very, very quick take on how we can get out of relying on end rhymes and end stops in our poetry and start to push away from that. Crossroads Fair DM me to ask me whether they said they want to become the next T.S. Eliot. So I don't know if they want my approval or agreement or whatever, but it's clear, they're very, 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 very green and new to poetry. And yeah, I could swirly this poem and flush it, so to speak. But what's productive about that? Wouldn't it be better for me to try to think, well, there's got to be for every crossroads fair, there's got to be 10, 20, 30, 40, a lot of other people out there who are just starting out, who maybe have the high opinion of their upside. But, if you don't have a high opinion of your upside, I suppose, why would you make the effort? But, my question is not, what should folks do exactly in terms of like, should they believe in themselves or not? That's not really the issue. It's how can you get better where you're at today, right? That's the focus of this channel. And raindrop falling from the sky, what were you in time gone by? This inner rhyme here, you really need a line break here, I suppose, to have a couplet and establish the couplet pattern. But whatever. Why rhyme? Why do so many novice poets who don't know anything rhyme? And I don't have the answer for that. They might think that poetry has to rhyme or something like that, or might be an influence from popular culture. I have no idea. But T.S. Eliot, he didn't rhyme. So I'm not really sure where we're getting this. Sure, there's a lot of poetry written in kind of modern English, in the modern English period, from kind of Sir Philip Sidney or Spenser forward. You could say, I guess you could go even before that, and you could say Chaucer. Chaucer has rhyme. So you could say that there's this kind of continuous tradition of rhyme in English as we know it. But that's probably a lot of that influence comes from the troubadour tradition. And it's nothing to say that that's not wonderful and amazing. It's just, poetry doesn't need to rhyme. And the classical tradition, the Greek and Roman poets did not rhyme. And not all English verse rhymes. Blank verse doesn't rhyme. And there's, Milton wrote his epic in blank verse. There's a lot more variation out there. There's a lot more different things that are possible. I don't know. I'm not saying like rhyme is always bad, but rhyme is hard. So when you're starting out, I want you to focus on techniques where you can get better quickly, and forcing yourself to learn rhyme. I don't know. And when you don't even know what meter is, you don't even know what an iamb is, but you're trying to rhyme. It seems like cart before the horse. All right. So with that in mind, I was like, well, why don't I look at some poems of my own here, and we can look at a poem that I was messing around with, and just because I had it on the chopping block anyway, I figured, well, why don't I put it in rhyme so people can see what I'm talking about? And I'm not going to do, it's not neat iambic pentameter, but you'll get a kind of slight iambic to this, But I just fucked around with this for a few minutes. You can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, so this poem, I've been revising on and off a little bit. So I reach for my cello. For the cello in the late day heat, but my son's hand is faster today. So this then the rhyme isn't so hard, but on the page it catches the eye. Not a word passes as his black case vanishes, so I poke my face. I needed a rhyme with case, right? Into the nearby pub to watch our boys take the field over a pint and its joys of an endless barley sea whose fields grow up over me. It's a little bit of a fantasy here. C and me is a super, super easy rhyme, right? And I wasn't spending a lot of time with a rhyming dictionary or coming up with a lot of synonyms or a lot of the things you really need to do to really make this very, very understated or achieved. So this isn't at that level of polish, but you kind of get the idea here. Grow up over me before the rush of the combine. Commercial start, it's my sign. I leave the bar to stroll by marshes near the knoll. So you can hear this kind of sing-songy, chimey, iambic thing. And spot a yellow warbler in sunlight who quizzes back at me, what a fight. So it's got a little bit forced there again, that winter gave, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so again, it's not like this poem is completely unpleasing. I think, kind of harkens back to perhaps a Victorian, sensibility that I think we maybe a little Longfellow. I'm no Longfellow, but you see what I'm saying in terms of what audiences would like or enjoy, and tastes do change, right? So I think it would be better. It would be better for this poem to not lock it into these couplets and to, for example, take 4 lines at a time and then try to find A B type of schemes instead of A B B C C. That might give me some more flexibility. Today poets would probably go, formal poets would go a lot further. They might use slant rhyme, where case could rhyme with, instead of having to rhyme with face, it could rhyme with a lot more things, like miss, or moss, boss, kiss. So as long as you have consonants there, as long as these ones match, it would pass. It would be okay. And you see even great, Auden will use slants on occasion. Yeats will use slants on occasion. So it's permitted. I mean, there's been a lot of vowel shifts over the course of English, and you can get away with a little bit of that as a result because it's kind of baked into English that over time the way that vowels have been are pronounced or enunciated can vary by dialect, it can vary by time period, it can vary by style or situation. So because of that, you sometimes are, you can take a lot of liberties, and I think that's more the contemporary style, just to give yourself some flexibility. That's not what I'm doing here, right? I'm showing you guys, like, straight up, if I just slam on that gas pedal and just try to force some rhymes into this motherfucker, what am I going to end up with? And it's not horrible, and some people might actually think this is fun or enjoyable. They might find it accessible and pleasing, but it chimes a lot, and I think that kind of wells up in the ear. I would think in order to fix that problem, having less of a confrontational AABBCC scheme would be good. Looking for slant rhyme would be good, some of those other techniques. If I were trying to publish this in a place that just wanted formal poetry, then I'd have the problem of how many beats do I have per line? Am I sticking to an iambic pentameter or an iambic tetrameter modality? If I change, then add or go have too many feet in one line or too few, or my emphasis, inflections aren't correct. How much liberty would I have? How much wiggle room would I have? Now, I write formal poetry now and again. I've published some formal poetry, and I'm very proud of my work as a formal poet, but it's not most of what I do. I write mostly free verse. I think it's challenging and interesting to do this type of stuff, and you can grow doing this type of stuff. But this isn't going to help me grow, guys. Look at some of these boys, joys. This is just awful. Stroll and knoll. Knoll is just this forced poetical kind of word that's it's just, ugh. You could say that's on me. I could rhyme better. but I do think, you know, even the masters of rhyme, even people who are really, really good, you're going to find some amount of coercion sooner or later. And it's how they work with that, how they disguise it and finesse it, that makes them masters. There's really no, it looks like I have some type of typo there. You get the idea, though, okay? So let's look what would happen to the same poem without forcing those end rhymes. This draft is without those forced end rhymes, and we'll see what's happening here. Almost summer. In late day heat, I reach for my son's cello from the trunk, but he's faster. Not a word passes as his black case vanishes, and I head to the pub to watch our boys take the field over a pint that offers sawdust before an endless sea of barley dancing invitations to the rush of the combine. I stroll by marshes to spot a yellow warbler, candied in light and quizzing back at me. How slow the winter passed, how cruel I became, outlasting it, unlike this bolt of starlight, blah, blah, blah. So, again, this gives me a lot more wiggle room, right? And it is rope I can hang myself with. I can open the first line with this possessive, and the second line I can slow the reader's eye down a lot with this unstressed ER, feminine ending, and the M dash here. This is really putting the brakes on things for the reader and allows me to build this transition of silence, not a word passes as his black case vanishes. I don't even know, do you need the not a word passes, but okay. I head to the pub to watch our boys to take the field over a pint that offers sawdust. So, you know, again, that because, you know, the boys and joys don't need to be in there. That's a really, really terrible line. But still, there's kind of, it's less kind of unintentionally humorous or jocular. It's just more focused on the imagery here. So the taste I feel like is and smells are probably hopefully a little bit more accentuated. We have more room to kind of do this you know, imagery that I want to get to. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying this poem is perfect in every way, nor am I saying that, like, you know, someone who's a master of rhyming verse couldn't do a better job than I have done, and even do a better job than this free verse rendition. What I'm trying to focus on here, folks, is when you're looking to improve your skills, right? You want to become better quickly as a poet when you're starting out, focusing on developing your rhyme first. I'm just not 100% convinced that this is a good way for you to progress and advance. I think you're going to be trapped by trying to find these rhyme words. And you're not going to learn a lot of the other techniques that you're going to need to learn about lineation. And hopefully you can improve faster by focusing on the most important elements to develop and control. Thank you.